That's the other thing is our.
Oh my god. Ew, bless you. Ew. It's giving Leo having a nightmare. Sorry. Why did
I got scared by my own sneeze. What's happening?
It's coming. Hi,
welcome back to Dysfunctional Duo.
Starring me.
And I.
Yes.
Are we getting better at that?
I don't know. Probably everyone probably hates it.
I thought you were going to say everyone probably hates us, which like...
Oh, that too. That goes without saying.
Absolutely valid. Hi.
Hi.
You guys probably don't know this, but Spencer and I have not seen each other for like a fucking month.
A whole month. A whole
what's it like?
month.
What has life been without fabulousness? Tell me.
Like sucky, honestly. I was sick for like 2 weeks with a sinus infection, which didn't know you could get. To be fair, it's so my fault to get this sinus infection.
Sorry.
ASMR. Do you like those videos?
I do until they do like the whispering, until they're like, hello, welcome to the... and you can hear their mouth like slapping in the spit.
Like that?
That's disgusting. And then if they're eating, it's even worse. Like I can't do eating ASMR videos.
Those ones
like
I
when
feel
they're
like are
slurping up fucking food like it's going out of business. Too far.
Like no one's gonna take it from you. You're the only person in that room.
That's how I was eating my breakfast this morning.
Really? Yeah. Leo had to
Leo
be like,
was like,
slow
no one's
down.
gonna steal your food.
We're slightly brain dead.
Happy birthday.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I turned 18.
How does it feel to be 45?
I don't know. It was kind of another day. Birthdays to me are just like nothing. I don't care to celebrate them. I don't care to do anything. I don't care to acknowledge it really. Other people care to acknowledge it, so like I kind of have to. But it's just another
you
day.
don't, but society,
right?
Yeah.
I guess I got older.
To be for honest, I fucking forget how old I am a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that why you're always asking me?
Kind of.
We're 3 months apart.
We're 3 months apart. You're a little older than me.
So I'm the superior.
This is a paid actor, this Shadow. It's okay. Sorry.
She's here. She actually has the tea on Sarah.
Lighting is here to just, you know what? Okay, fuck. Hold on. This is a tangent, but I'm going to talk about it.
Oh, please.
Because millennials will understand. I always used to be really intrigued by my shadow when I was a little kid because of Bear in the Big Blue House.
What the fuck? Why?
Because the shadow character.
Oh, yeah. But it was like it was a good thing. But I was creeped out by it all the time.
Okay, so this is where my story's leading. Which hold on. I think it was a dream. I don't really know or remember. I was a fucking child, like a little child, like probably 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in my room. And I'm assuming it was a dream, but it didn't feel like a dream. And Shadow came into my room and told me like all the things that she was going to do to me in terms of like hurting me. Like that she was going to carve out my eyes and...
Like the same Shadow from...
Bear in the Big Blue House.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, I'm going to assume it's a dream. I'm not saying this is like a fucking spiritual, like a ghost imitated... shadow, but like I can't remember. So my dad put me to bed in the same room that I had this like dream, so none of my environment changed, and that's why. And the light was on in the hallway, and when I woke up or whatever, the light was on and my dad was in another room, and I like called for him and like was crying because I was so scared. But yeah, she like in her high pitched like shadow voice was like, I'm going to cut your fucking limbs off.
That's
and like
hilarious.
Like shit like that. And I was like, Shadow, what happened? Shadow.
Could you ever watch that show again after that?
I think I did. Honestly, I don't really remember. But I do remember that specific thing like leaving an impact on me. And I don't think I ever looked at Shadow the same way.
Honestly, probably not. Because it's creepy to fucking begin with. and you literally just told you it was going to cut your face off,
Yeah, and like gouge out my eyes and stuff.
which is honestly kind of iconic for her. I love that
She's
for her.
giving boss woman.
What is it about dreams though that are like so vivid sometimes? Because I have a dream I remember this very clearly. It's the one dream in my life where I can like picture it like a fucking movie. And it's very short. It happened when I was probably like honestly 5 years old, like
Okay.
very young too.
Okay, so like you're like reading my mind today, and I'm really
We're
here
always
for
doing
it
that.
because
We're
like
always doing that.
this episode's topic is going to be like dreams, and this literally stemmed from my husband, who I'm not wearing my wedding ring.
Scandal. What's the tea?
Scandalousio.
Shadow. Spill all.
He exists. Spencer saw him today. Don't
I
worry, he's
did.
alive. Everybody,
can
he's
confirm.
alive. He's fine. So on often occasions, he will, if he's laying on his back, he'll have like sleep paralysis. Not
Oh,
often. When we first started dating, it was way more common.
interesting.
Now it's like once or twice a year, but it's enough that I know what he's going through when it happens, and I know what I have to do to intervene on it. So often he'll we were literally talking about this morning because it happened to him last night. So I am sleeping and I'll hear like him cry out, but it's like a growing we were laughing at it because it's so fucking funny if you're not like in the dream experiencing what he's experiencing, which is terror, absolute terror. But it'll start off as like and then it'll go and then we'll be like yeah. and then all I have to do is touch him. All I have to do is like touch his shoulder,
Yeah.
or like I just need to touch him so that he knows like to wake up, basically.
Okay.
I'm assuming you're not picking up the audio on this because our thing never seems to, but my cat is literally playing with his toy right now, and
Is
it's
that
like a
what that
moving
is?
fish. Yeah.
Oh my god, I thought it was like the coffee machine going off downstairs.
No, that's Phineas's
Oh.
fish.
He's such a
crackhead. Anyways, so it often happens because he'll either like have a dream where like it's always something scary, always, every
Mhm.
single time, but it's usually like he can't move or he can't do something in his dream, and it gets like increasingly worse. So last night's dream was that we were in like his old apartment, and he said that his little cousin was like sleeping on a bed in the room next to his, and he like asked like, who's that lady? And it was like a woman, like a gangly looking woman who was just like staring at him like from the stairs or something. And then she started chasing me, which apparently I was in the dream, and I'm like running away from her, and she's like on all fours chasing after me. So he chased after us, and then he couldn't find her and he couldn't find me. And in his dream he was saying donde, which is where.
Oh.
He starts speaking in Spanish in his dream, I guess. So all I'm hearing is "Donde?" and all I have to do is tap him. And like it's literally, from my perspective, it's like, as a woman who's been with this man for so many years, it's like fucking second. Like I'll wake up and I'll just be like, and then I'll go back to bed. I don't even ask him how he is anymore. I don't.
You're like,
I
"I
don't
don't
check.
care."
I said to Leo this morning, like sometimes I'll just let you sit in it for a second to see if you can get yourself out.
You're like the Saw character, like it's a test.
Like I'll hear him go and I'll kind of be awake and I'm like, he's fine. And then and I'm like, okay, hold on, we're not there yet. No, and I'm like, all right, I gotta fucking, because it just like increasingly gets worse. But I'm like, can he pull himself out of it? Can he wake himself up? It's never happened.
I was gonna say, like, has he gotten to the point where he's like full on screaming?
Not like bloody murder, but it's usually, when we first started dating, I think it would get like more deeper than that in terms of like he would be crying out, but it was more, you know, I don't know a lot about sleep paralysis or the process of the brain and the body, but I do know that for him, 9 times out of 10, I think maybe once or twice it's been on his side, but 9 times out of 10, he lays on his back when it happens.
That's so weird.
And he just can't move. And he's told me that it's a thing where his body doesn't wake up as fast as his brain, which I know that's a thing with sleep paralysis. But he's told me times where he's woken up, like when he was younger, he was in the basement and his sister was on the couch with him watching TV. He was awake and knew his sister was on the couch next to him, that she was watching TV. He couldn't move though. He couldn't open his eyes. He couldn't move. And for him, I think that's like something that's like super terrifying, obviously, for anybody. But like, you know, the concept of like losing your motor function is probably like super scary.
Oh, for sure. Have you had sleep paralysis before?
I don't think so. I've only ever had, and so this is the process of this episode, is I wanted to talk about our big dreams that like stuck with us. Because if anybody knows me, you know that I have like mad banana dreams. Like they're fucking crazy, and they're continuous. It's not like, oh, if I eat chocolate too late, I get loopy dreams. It's like, no. It's a Tuesday. I'm going to have a crazy dream. And I often remember my dreams pretty deep and very detailed.
Yeah.
And I often don't pull myself out of my dreams. Like I'll just maneuver the plot. Like it's almost like lucid dreaming.
Yeah. So you know you're dreaming. Like you're aware in the dream that this is a dream, but you kind of just like, you just kind of let it flow like a movie.
I'll give you an example. Like often in dreams, if I'm about to be murdered, I'll either like change the plot, or I'll literally remove myself from the dream and just watch third person people in my dream. So I feel like to a certain degree that's like lucid dreaming. Or there's been times where I do have bad dreams. I know I'm fucking dreaming and I tell myself to wake up.
Question. Do you dream in third person or do you dream like point of view or both?
Like, do I dream sometimes looking at myself?
Like, yeah. Like, are you sort of like this like divine figure looking down at like the dream happening?
If something is happening to me that I don't want to be a part of, like again, like if I'm about to be murdered in my dream or I'm being beaten up, or there's been times when I've like been stabbed in my dreams, I'll pull my subconscious soul out of my body in my dream, and then I'll watch it happen, and then I'll go back into my body once the thing's over.
Once you're just a dead body, you're just like lying.
Or often I'll just like survive.
I love that for you. You're like, actually,
I'm a final girl.
Yeah. This is about me.
Knives who? Yeah, I'll do that sometimes. Or I will remove myself from the dream entirely and watch two characters coexist in my dream.
I do
kind
that
of like Sims
quite often too. I have very vivid dreams, but I don't remember them. Aside from like a select few, I don't remember a lot of my dreams, but I do remember that like they're very vivid. Yeah. Like I can tell details in the dream. I also know that I'm dreaming in my dream.
Yeah.
And I just kind of let it happen. Usually I don't change the plot. Like it'll just like naturally flow and I'm just here for the ride.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of fun like that.
Yeah.
But I have it both where like last night I did have a dream where it was like my point of view. But most of the time I think I'm like looking down like as like an audience member.
Well, and I have like reoccurring factors that run into my dreams like a lot. Like one of the big things is like I have two younger brothers. They're full grown adults now. Well, they're teenagers, but they look like fucking men. It's crazy. Yeah. Like one of them's 18, one of them's 17.
18's wild.
Or is he 16? I know, I can't believe he's 18. It's fucking crazy.
Like that's not allowed. How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you fucking grow up? Get your ass back in your little overalls and go play ball.
Yeah, Nigel the dinosaur hunter.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're just roasting my brother.
Yeah.
In my dreams, more than not, I dream of them being children. I very, very rarely dream of them being the age that they currently are. They're always children and I'm always taking care of them.
Do you dream of like dead people? like people that have passed in your life? Do you dream of them?
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Are they like, do they just kind of like pop up? Like for me, like when I dream of my mom, like it's always in the old house, my old house that I grew up like with her in. That's the only time I actually like dream of her. It's like we're in that setting. And it's usually just like we're at the table talking. Like it's not even like nothing's happening in the dream.
I think like it depends. Like I think how it's your subconscious, I think, to a certain degree, processing information, right? So like for me, the person that I see a lot and not so much now, but when I was younger, it was very common, was a friend of mine who passed away. And he was somebody that was like very pivotal in my life. We had like a love relationship, or like, I don't know how to, we liked each other. He was Do you like me, or like me?
First love, I think.
First love, yeah, I guess would be considered it. And the, factors of how he passed away were pretty sudden and pretty, shocking. And so you're because of how his relationship and my relationship were before he died, we never got closure in terms of like we had a fight and then we never got to resolve it. And so in my dreams, I will have a dream where I'm reconnecting with him. And for many years, it was like I was having a dream and I would see him in my dream passing, or somebody would say like, he's here in this like location that I was at. And I was trying to find him. And I could never get to him. And so that was like something that I had in terms of dreams. And then there was a few times where like I would have a dream with him. This is fucking sad. Like,
sorry.
This is making me look so depressed.
No, I'm so sorry. I started
this. Makes me a sad human being. I'm okay.
Are you?
I am. But there was other times like later on in the years where I would have a dream and him and I would see each other and we wouldn't really sit down and talk, but I would hug him and I would hold him and we would have like a kiss or something. And it was like the final goodbye before he like moved on. So it's not common or like, this is fucking funny too. So because he was like my first love, I would have dreams where him and I would be talking and then my husband would show up in my dream. This happens
scandalous
often where I'm like guilty that I'm subconsciously cheating on my husband. And I'll have a dream where I'm like having a date with somebody I don't know and my husband shows up as like a third fucking wheel and is just like here for like, he's like, I'm just here to make sure things don't
like
go too
chaperone.
far. Like a chaperone. Yeah. like make sure that, you know, we don't
sure
kiss.
You're like acting right in your dreams.
Yeah.
He's like chasing down crawling women for you.
To save
and
me.
You're seeking out other men.
Seeking out other
How
men.
dare
Apparently.
you?
I'm cheating in my dreams. But he always cock blocks every time.
As he should.
But that just goes to show like how much I like people are like, would you ever? And I'm like, I fucking can't. Like,
yeah.
even in my subconscious, my brain's like, no.
This wrong.
You a married woman.
Yeah. Where's your ring though?
I can't remember. I take it off when I go to the gym because I don't want to lose it. There was like a huge day where I ended up, I left my ring in the bathroom or no. I can't remember what happened, but basically I thought I lost it, genuinely thought I lost it. And I was so sad about it. And so I have this like subconscious concern that if I'm in a position where I'm going to take my ring off, I just don't wear it.
Can I make a comment? As someone who's not married and doesn't have a ring, I think it should be normalized for people to like not always wear their ring. Like you not wearing your ring doesn't mean that you're not married.
I don't think it is not normalized. And like for married people, I mean, okay, I think everyone has their own set of rules in their relationship and, you know, everyone follows different details, but everyone that I've met who's married feels no fucking type of way about their ring, not in the sense that the symbol is, this is why I don't wear my ring when I'm going to the gym because I don't want to lose it because I love my ring.
Yeah.
It does mean something to me. But if I'm standing next to somebody, they know I'm married to Leo and I'm not wearing a ring, they're like, where's your fucking ring? And it's not like, oh, are you not wearing a ring because you want men to like approach you? Like I've never been asked that, but I often feel a need to defend myself if I'm not wearing my ring because I want people to, I like fill in the gaps before people ask the question. So I don't think I've ever been in a position where somebody's like, you're not wearing your ring. Like, are you married? Or like, are you, sometimes I'll be like at a place, this happens a lot at the grocery store because Leo and I have like a membership with a grocery store where you get like 15% off all your items, or there's like a discount service if you like sign up for the program.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in his name under his phone number. And so every time I give the phone number, they'll be like, Leo, and they'll look at me and they're like, you're not a fucking Leo. You're like
yeah,
but like they'll say Leopoldo, which is his full name, and they're like, I don't think this is you. And then I'm always like, that's my husband. And if I'm not wearing my ring, I'm like, they're gonna think I'm fucking lying. Like,
yeah,
they're gonna think I stole somebody's phone number. You know what I mean? So then I try to like
identity
justify it. Yeah, and it's like identity theft, but like not really.
You put, instead of the ring, you put like a framed picture
my marriage
of your marriage certificate.
Yeah.
Me.
Or like when I was going through the process of changing my name and I was doing all these documents and stuff, I made it a point to wear my ring because I didn't want somebody to question that I wasn't. But really, you can still be married and not wear a ring. It's a symbol. It's not like a requirement within your marriage. But I do think that, you know, these symbols kind of, they matter and they exist before you get married. And then once you're married, you realize that like literally nothing has fucking changed?
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've heard that, like, and not to call people out, but I've heard that, like, after marriage, people kind of go through like this weird low because it's all this excitement of just like, this is it. Like, you do the planning, you get the dresses, you get the suits, you invite the family. Like, there's all this excitement and anticipation for the marriage.
Mhm.
And then you have your big day and then it's over.
And
And that's it.
And like big day being like you blink and the day is over and you're drunk with no food in your system.
Yeah.
As like a bride, you've spent no time with your husband and you've just interacted with people all day and they just ask you the same questions. And it's like, I'm not saying that a wedding is not wonderful. I had a wedding and it was great. Leo and I did it a little differently intentionally.
Yeah.
But I also have heard people who have gone over and like I had a friend recently who she got married. She had 200 people at her wedding. And she spent like a lot of fucking money at this wedding.
Mhm.
And it didn't go well. Like her wedding, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. And she still had the wedding. She still paid all that money.
Yeah.
And the next day she was married. And she said to me, I would have done it differently if I would have known it was like this. And so I've heard a lot of brides say, like, I can't believe I spent fucking $30,000 on this.
Yeah.
I spent a
Yeah.
mortgage for a day.
For a day.
And so, and everybody's situation is different. I'm not here to shit on weddings or high, like guests and high price
Yeah.
weddings.
You
I
want the
think-
party, have the party.
I think seriously, to each their own. I had the party. But we really balanced out what we wanted and how we wanted to prioritize it because, you know, our values of, and I think it's changing. I think weddings and the perspective of weddings have changed even more so after COVID, because that really provided some perspective of like, how much do you really need in order to have your day, in order to feel the feelings that you want to feel?
Yes.
There was certain things in my experience that were non-negotiable and I wanted those things present. And there was other things that I was totally cool. Like I'll give you an example, my wedding dress. And I only recently talked about this because I have a friend she and her husband are getting married abroad. Like they're getting married in another country. But in order to get married in another country, you have to have your civil wedding. Yeah.
I
And
don't
it's
know.
super common for like, I see it a lot in Hispanic communities, but I know that there's other communities that do it where you'll go get married in another country, but you need to have your civil wedding, which is your legal wedding, but it's not your big grandiose wedding where you wear the big dress and you wear all the stuff
So you have to technically like get married
in your country.
Canada,
Yeah.
specific because that's where
In
we
your
are.
place of like living.
Before you go.
But if you have, you know, immigrated families are, I think, a big one for this is you're going to go get married at the place that you were born.
Mhm.
But you're not necessarily, like, you might not be a citizen of that country, or you're not a citizen getting married in that country because
Mhm.
you're going back to the country that you currently live in. So I think it's getting more popular, civil weddings. I want to say they're civil, not civic. Civic
I don't
sounds
know
weird.
what Civic means.
Civic sounds like a car.
I think it's a Honda Civic.
Oh, it is a Honda
a
Civic.
Honda
Okay.
Civic like wedding.
Civil wedding, I think is what it is. So anyways, we recently went to our friend's civil wedding and it was very small, it was lovely. It was a really beautiful ceremony. But I was getting asked all these questions about my experience because I was one of the first of my friend group to get married.
Yeah.
And we just had our year anniversary.
Oh my God,
of our wedding.
congratulations.
Thanks. What did we do?
Nothing.
I think I was
Who fucking
sick.
cares? You've been together for 10 years.
I know, it's been fucking long time. I've known him my entire 20s.
You have. That's wild to me.
That's crazy. So every birthday I'm not just acknowledging another year around the sun, I'm acknowledging another date of being with like my husband, which is crazy. But we've been together for a very long time. But it also doesn't feel like a long time, and then it feels like a long time. Like I can't believe I've committed almost 8 years to a person and like done it kind of well.
Pretty successfully. I'd
Kind of
say.
successfully. Like in 8 years, we've had maybe one fight, real fight, not arguments. We've had our arguments, but like one, if that, like we've never fought to the point where it's like, no, we've had one fight.
You're too healed of a person, I've decided. Like try to get
That's
Sarah riled up.
inaccurate.
No, but try to get Sarah riled up.
Yeah, you be successful at it.
I wouldn't be. You just look at me and be like, shut the fuck up.
Well, okay, there's my people that are completely like, you know, off limits, and you're one of them. I don't fight with you either. But, you know, there's certain things that piss me off genuinely, and I will respond to them. Like, I will react,
Mhm.
but they're very few. Like, it's, you know, and it's often not me. Like, you can do a lot of shit to me and I'm pretty like, I'm like, yeah, like, who the
okay.
fuck am I? I'm just a person, like, whatever. But when it comes to the people I love, if you're messing with the people, I'm sure I'll get riled up more easily when I become, you know, if I have the opportunity to become a mother. I'm sure, like, if you fuck with my kids, like, gloves come off. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, like, stuff like that. But there's things that rile me up for sure. Like, yes. I'm not healed enough. Every now and then I'll go, wow, I'm not as fucking healed as I thought. Like, I thought I was pretty zen, and I'm not very zen.
I'm not very zen.
So, but all that to say that we were talking about price and stuff. We'll come back to the dream thing. This is a hell of a tangent.
We do this sometimes.
But, you know, she was asking me, like, what are the things that, and then I have another friend who was there too, and she's getting married, I think, next year, and she's currently planning her wedding. She's asking the questions like, how much time did you give yourself to plan the wedding? You know, what were your non-negotiable, like, all this kind of stuff. And we did it differently than like a lot of people do. We split our ceremony and our reception into different days. And our reception, we invited the people we wanted, you know, and we didn't have a lot of people. It was like 60 people. And our ceremony was small, like friends and family and like close friends, and not extended family, like close, like, you know, immediate family, kind of. So basically, because of that, there were certain things that I financially was like, I'm not going to pay for, like, we pulled people in to help support the event. So like our food was like, this was asked, like, well, who covered the food? Well, like, my family catered.
Yeah.
We bought the alcohol. My family provided the food. Leo's family provided the venue.
Yeah.
Our photographer was our dear friend, which is one of my favorite things about our wedding, is the fact that our wedding photos are done by somebody who not only understood Leo and I as people, but he was there from the day that Leo and I met. He was friends with Leo and I. And, you know, we're not like, he's off living his life. We're not like, we don't see each other all the time, but we seem to be around each other during the big moments, which is really special.
He's a cool dude.
Oh, he's awesome. Yeah. He's one of my favorite people. Just like, as a person, meeting him and being around him, he makes me happier. So having him be our photographer was like amazing. My bouquet was done by my mother-in-law's friends because that's what she wanted to do. Like, everyone kind of contributed to the day. And so everything that was done felt a little bit more special to me because everything was done with this, like, a little bit of love. You know what I mean? And wanting the best experience for us as a collective too. But one thing that I skipped on was I was going to buy a wedding dress and realized that they're literally so fucking expensive.
Stupid expensive.
So expensive for like, wear it once.
Literally
and get it dirty once. Like, you're gonna get it dirty. It's gonna be in a ball it's in my basement in a bin right now. And I have not.
I was gonna say it like rots in a closet for like the rest of your life.
Yeah, and I can guarantee you, oftentimes than not, like, I'm holding on to it so that if I have a child and like a daughter specifically, or, you know, if somebody wants to wear the dress, they can wear the dress. But even if you want to like repurpose it and make it into something else, like take the bottom half and put something, like, go for pop off, like, enjoy yourself. But also, like, you know, 60 years from now, I'd love to put it back on and see if it still fucking fits. Like, there's certain pieces to it. It's like your prom dress. You keep your prom dress and you try it on and it doesn't fit you. You sit in the corner with a tub of ice cream and cry, you know, like monumental moments in your life. But my wedding dress was literally a bridesmaid dress in white.
Yeah.
And it saved me so much money.
It was actually like, it was pretty cheap, but it was actually beautiful. Like, and like good quality. Like, I was shocked by it.
The only issue I had was the boobs were a little coned out. Like, the padding where the boobs were like a little coney. And so
it was giving Marilyn Monroe.
It was kind of, it was giving like old vintage woman who didn't wear a bra. You know what I mean? So that was a little weird, but I got it taken in and I got it like tailored, and it I thought it was really pretty. It was very kind of like, I think my whole theme for that, unintentionally, this was not on purpose, but when I look back at the photos of my wedding, I look very much kind of like royal bride a little bit, but more kind of, but like almost like fairy,
Yeah, I was
like-
gonna say Barbie
like
Fairytopia.
enchanted forest kind of vibes.
Yeah,
That's something like, yeah, like kind of Barbie. Like,
I mean, that's exactly what it was. Like, you got married in a really pretty garden.
well, that's the other thing is our.
Oh my god! Ew, bless you. Ew. It's giving Leo having a nightmare.
um
Sorry. Why did
I got scared by my own sneeze. What's happening?
It's coming.
Fuck, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, like the venue that we got married at was completely free,
Yes.
which was really cool. So there was just like little things like that. The place that we got married at was the first place that Leo and I ever took a trip together. It was next to the place that he proposed to me. Like there was just like really special things about it that all just kind of fell into place. So all that to say, you know, we celebrated our 1 year anniversary recently, and like I think I was sick that weekend. Like we went for sushi before. That was like our big thing. We were going to go and get sushi together and go like on a little date. And we did have our little date. But I actually think that week was pretty stressful for me in terms of my life. And so my body like shut down that weekend. And so I was sick. So we didn't do anything. But it was literally like perfect. Like it was just kind of like every other day. But this concept of like what you said of like you wake up one day and you know you're celebrating this day and the next day you're back to your life. Like I think it would have been concerning if the next day I woke up and everything changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you woke up and like you were purple, I think you'd be like, what the fuck?
Well, not even that, like, but my feelings for him changed, or
Why?
like if things
That'd
got
be
better
wild.
or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like but that's always the idea, right? Like the things will change. You'll be a married woman. It's like
People
just kinda the fucking
romanticize
same.
it too much, I think.
Oh, for sure. For sure. So all that to say, yes, I do dream of dead people.
Yes.
Anyways, back to the point. But I wanted to talk about, we have 30 minutes left. So, I mean,
We got this.
I wanted to talk about, I need like your top 3 dreams that you vividly remember that like have always stuck with you, that like you can think about and go, I remember exactly how this dream went. And I just want to talk about like our loopy dreams, because I feel like I have so many loopy dreams.
I have a lot.
And you do too.
Yeah.
And I hardly talk to people who have the dreams that like you and I can sit in a room and talk about our dreams and like validate the fact that we're like not crazy. We're just a little offbeat, I guess.
It's just my dreams. So the first one, like I'll go back to like when I was 5 years old. This is the first dream that I remember and it stuck with me. I was driving in a car. I was in the back seat behind the driver's seat in my parents' old burgundy Saturn from like 2005.
Yeah.
My dad was driving and my mom was in the passenger seat. And we stopped at like a random street. And my mom gets out to go to an antique store. I don't know how, it wasn't like there was no words exchanged in this dream. It's just like I automatically knew. She gets out and leaves. And it's just me and my dad in the car. We're listening to like the radio. It's kind of quiet. We're whatever. A man walks in front of the car dressed in all black. Kind of looked like a ninja, but like, I don't know, wasn't. And then he turns to look at my
Scary.
dad, like right through the windshield. His fist, this man's fist goes like through the windshield and presses against my dad's chest. It happens in like slow motion, but like just through the windshield like magic. Presses against my
break
dad's
the glass?
chest. No,
Okay.
it's like
he's a wizard. Okay.
he's a wizard.
Yeah.
And then a bone slowly pops out from the back of my dad's chest, like back. I don't know. And then after I'm watching this bone come out, and then my dad goes to turn to look at me, and then I wake up.
Like, was the bone like just a bone, like a dog bone, or was it like?
It was like, well, I was probably like 5 at the time, so I didn't understand anatomy. So it was like probably what you'd think of like an arm bone looking like.
Okay.
But like coming out like the back. So I wouldn't know what like a spine actually was at the time.
We hadn't yet learned spine.
I don't know anything about
That's
like
funny.
the human
Okay, so
body.
you were like 5 years old when
I
this
was
happened?
5 years old, and
That's
it was
so
like
scary.
stuck with me because it was just so random and weird, and like I don't know why I had this dream. I don't know what it means, if dreams have meaning.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fucked up dream.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like other ones. I've had a few where like I've dreamt about trying to save a coworker. There was a bomb in like an apartment complex, and I had to save everyone from the apartment complex and like dismember the bomb at the same time.
We love a hero.
Right? And I saved everybody in the apartment complex except for my coworker. And then I told the story to him the next
Dream
day.
philosophers.
And he was like,
we
okay.
need you to investigate. I need you to
and I was
open
really
this one up.
guilty about it. Like I was like, I remember
I
like,
killed you yesterday.
yeah, I felt so bad.
Yeah.
And then to be honest, a lot of my dreams consist of me going through like the extremes of trying to escape. Recently I had a dream where I was in like this Queen Mary ship, but it was like 1,000 times bigger.
Okay.
And I was in this like section that like nobody was supposed to be in, but I stumbled upon it by accident. It was like under construction, so to speak.
Okay.
And like all the rooms kind of like led into one another. It was almost like a really glorified McDonald's playpen where like
that's scary in and of itself.
like a door would open to like stairs that would lead to like another room where like there was a mirror that like if you open the mirror there was a room behind that mirror, and then there'd be like another like
what a
that
fever
room.
dream.
I know, like there would be like stairs underneath the bed, but you just had to find it.
Mm-hmm.
And it would like I would go through, and then I realized after a while that I was being chased, and that's why I had to like go through all
There's
these
just a
rooms.
person walking behind you the whole time, and you're like so distracted about your directions.
Yeah,
You
like
don't even see them.
it like I would like go up into an attic and somehow end up in a basement. Like it was just like a really weird like
Mhm.
Tetris escape. And that's usually most of my dreams is like I'm being chased or like I'm trying to like escape from something.
Yeah. Let's be honest, like in reality, those McDonald's playpen, like playgrounds or whatever, they're really fun when you're a child, but then when you think back on those excuse me, I'm having a fucking conversation, Phineas.
The way he screamed.
So McDonald's playpens. He's like, that's my nightmare. Like when I look back and think about it, it was a disgusting play place. Like no
So
area
gross.
was clean.
No, they can't clean it.
The ball pit and like the upper floor was disgusting.
My sister says the ball pits are probably the worst part
For sure.
because kids will like piss and shit, and they like, how do you clean that?
That's
You
disgusting.
can't.
And like I would always go too high. Like I would always climb too high. One time when I was a little girl, I climbed too high. I climbed to the top with a friend and realized I was too high and couldn't go back down. So my dad had to get in and come after me. Yeah. And he climbed all the way to the top for me and then got me out.
Aw.
Yeah. And then he realized that this was like a reoccurring thing, that I had a problem about climbing too high and not getting down. So the second time he didn't go in, he just tried to talk me down. He tried to be like, okay, now go over here. And like, but I still have kind of like an issue with like heights and stuff. Like I don't love them.
Mhm.
Like I get a little bit vertigo-y. Like recently I was on a staircase that was like you could see underneath you, like it had holes on the stairs.
I
Like it was a
hate
metal
those.
one. And so I felt like I wasn't on a set of stairs. I felt like I was like in the middle of the sky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I got like super uncomfortable about that. And that's how I like was when I was a kid in those play places. But I wouldn't realize when I was climbing up because you're looking up, you're not looking down.
Yeah.
And then you realize that you got to go down and you're like, oh fuck, I'm up high as like a child.
Yeah.
It's like too high. Now I stand next to it and I'm like, please, I can send the third floor. Come on. Like I would fit, but I could do it. So like having a dream like that for sure would be scary. I don't know if I've ever, okay, I'm going to tell you a few dreams that I've had. One of them has always been so vivid in my mind. And you were in it.
Love that.
And
Paid actor.
this one takes you for a ride. This is a long dream.
Okay.
Okay. So we start off and Spencer and I lived in the same cul-de-sac. We were in a cul-de-sac. I was kind of on the corner edge. I was like the second house to the outside of the cul-de-sac and she was on the inside. She was on the right inside of the kind of when the cul-de-sac takes a turn.
Mhm.
So we were kind of like diagonally across from each other.
Yeah.
You could
basically.
say. Yeah. And I had a dream that we were in the house next to your house.
Okay.
But it wasn't I think the house next to your house in reality was quite low compared to yours. Like yours had a couple floors, whereas the house next to yours was kind of more like stretched out.
Yeah.
But this house was a 2-floor house, so it kind of like was like my grandparents' house. Like yeah. So it's like a 2-floor. It's high enough that like you can't see, over, I guess. And we were in this person's backyard. So the person, it felt like we had been like abducted. Which happened a lot in my dreams where I would be like kidnapped. But we had been abducted. I'm telling you, my dreams are quite loopy. So just buckle down. We were in the backyard and we were raking leaves, like autumn leaves. You and me both. And the person who kidnapped us was Jim Carrey.
Oh my God, I wish.
And he was on the upper floor. He was looking out his window, looking at us, and watching us rake. But and like think Jim Carrey from like Pet Detective. Okay. He actually, no, not Pet Detective. Eternal Sunshine of the. Did you ever watch that movie?
No. Is this young Jim Carrey?
Yeah, like mid-age.
Okay.
Not Jim Carrey now.
Okay, yeah. How old were you when you had this dream?
Bruce Almighty, maybe.
Oh,
that kind of age. Fuck, I don't know. Must have been
we were young,
14, 15.
Yeah, okay.
So we're raking the leaves and he would look at us for 8 seconds and he would look away for 8 seconds. It was like a routine thing. So you and I are raking the leaves. There's a side gate that was open that we were going to run through. Okay. Keep in mind, we live in this cul-de-sac, right? Like he knows where we fucking live. Just want to add to that. So he looks at us for 8 seconds. And I'm like, okay, when he looks away, we run. And so he looks away and you and I book it out the side gate.
Love that.
And I'm counting to 8. And then he starts chasing us because he realizes that we're not in his backyard anymore raking his leaves, which obviously is why he abducted us in the first place. You and I are running straight. So you're not running to your house, which is next to this guy's house. I'm running to my house. Okay. I run to my house and I get inside my house. You keep running and Jim Carrey chases after you. So you're gone. That was the end of you being in my dream. Done.
Oh, okay.
So then I go inside my house and my door's unlocked. And then I lock it, obviously, because I don't want him to come after me. And when I go inside my house, no one's home. And the house is dark. And so in my old house where my parents live, it's like you enter into, you can imagine this, but I'm going to help the viewers who don't know what my house looks like. You enter in, there's a living room, there's a kitchen, you keep going, there's a little dinette area, and then there's another like living room on the other side. And it's kind of like a hallway that kind of stretches through. Next to the living room and the kitchen, there's a set of stairs that go up, and then there's a set of stairs that go down. They kind of sit next to each other. One goes to the basement, one goes upstairs. And then there's like where the dinette area is, there's like sliding glass doors for like, the backyard. I walk into the front door, no one's home. I like call out, nobody responds. The house is like dead silent, and all the lights are off. So I'm walking through. I walk and it feels a little bigger than like it would in normal, like if you were in my parents' house, because my parents' house feels a little like small just because of how it's built. But it feels a little longer when you're walking down in the dream. And I look around, I can't find anybody. I look out the backyard, nobody's home. And then I go to the basement. And when I go to the basement, you go down to the basement and then there's like a hallway. And there's a room that was built. There's a little kind of like storage closet in front of you. And then you keep going, there's a laundry room. You keep going, there's a living room. And then on the other side of the hallway, there's like a storage room and then another storage room. But like that was kind of where like my parents kept their like cat litter and stuff. And everything's like curtained. Nothing was like fully built. Nothing still is fully, well, it's kind of built, but nothing's really like, it's all kind of curtained off. Like my dad just took fabric and kind of hung it up on the beams to make it look like the walls were built without building the walls. So I go downstairs and there's like a TV, like one of those older TVs, the ones that are like the box TVs. And sorry, I'm just checking time. And, it's sitting on like a table, like a little side table almost. And it's on, but it's like the white noise, like black and white fuzzy screen.
Right.
Like when you don't have a channel.
Like Portuguese.
Yeah. So I turn it off and I walk away and it turns back on.
Ew.
And then I go back to it. And I keep in mind, the house is dead silent. Again, there's no one at this point in the house. So every noise in my dream is louder than it probably would be. So I go back and I turn it off again, and then it turns on again, but I haven't walked away yet. It just turns back on. And so I'm like, fuck, okay, like I don't want to turn this off again. So I go to like turn it off and unplug it, and it's not plugged in.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what to do here. So I walk away to go upstairs, and it turns off. Right. So I'm like, okay, weird. So then I start walking upstairs, and as I'm walking upstairs, my youngest brother, who is like an infant at this point, he's like 1 year old, is crawling. Like he's when you put a baby on the stairs, instead of them going backwards and crawling down the stairs, they're like bum scooting.
Yeah.
He's bum scooting down the stairs to the basement, and he's by himself. So I'm like, oh, hey. And like, he's not doing anything creepy. It's just him, you know, as a 1 year old like baby, and he's bum scooting, trying to get down the stairs.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, hey, like, great, you're here. So I grab him, and I go into the living room that's on the end of my house, which is next to the dinette area. And at the time there was like a chair. And so my parents have moved the furniture around quite a bit in that space. So sometimes the couch has been on one side of the wall versus the other side of the wall, blah, 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 blah. So if you're thinking the living room and you have a view where you're sitting like on the edge of the living room, you can see both, like you can see upstairs, but not upstairs in the sense that you can see all the way upstairs. You see a set of stairs, because the stairs go up and then they turn and then they go back up. So it's kind of like
there's like a corner there.
There's like a corner, and on the corner there's like a small window, but it's mostly a wall. So you can't see upstairs, but you can see kind of the edge before it takes the turn to go all the way upstairs. So I sit on this rocking chair to rock Connor to bed, because again, he's 1 year old.
Yeah.
So I'm holding him and I'm rocking him, and I look up the stairs and I realize that when you go upstairs, you really have to understand the layout of the house in order to really understand the stream, because it helps. But you know, you're going upstairs, it takes a turn, then it goes back up. When you go upstairs, it's kind of like wall and then wall. So it kind of, that's how it feels. So you go upstairs, there's 2 rooms in front of you, and then there's 2 rooms on the side, and then there's a bathroom on the left side of you. So, and they're very close together. Like the hallway upstairs is quite small.
Yeah.
At the time when I dreamt this, my room was if you're going upstairs, it was on the right side. My one brother's room was on the right side in front of you. My other brother's room was on the left side in front of you, and my parents' room was on the far left.
Yeah.
So I'm holding Connor, who is the one whose room is on the left, and Elijah's room was on the right. And I see a bedroom light on, which looks to be Elijah's bedroom light.
Right.
And it's reflecting on the wall. And I see somebody run like by. So I see their shadow with the light projecting onto the wall run by. And it's like small steps, and like small and like fast. So, and at this time, my brother was like 3-4 years old.
Right.
So I call up the stairs and I'm like, Elijah, is that you? Come down. And all I hear is like, okay. And it's not his fucking voice.
Ew.
And then they turn off the light. And I'm staring up the stairs, and this person starts coming down, and it was a girl.
Right.
Probably the height of like the girl from The Ring.
It's
like her height.
Yeah.
She was wearing a white gown, and she had long black hair, but her face was showing. So it was kind of parted down the middle. And her face was like cut up, kind of like the girl from The Exorcist.
Yeah.
But like dark, hollow eyes. Like she had an eyeball, but it was mostly like her pupils were incredibly large.
Right.
And she was smiling at me, and she had no lips.
Ew.
So all I saw were her teeth, and she was like smiling at me, like menacingly. And she was holding my brother's blanket, which at the time, and you'll remember this, but he had a blue blanket. It was like his baby blanket. And it was like yay big, and he used it all the fucking time. She was holding it, and it was covered in blood.
Oh my God. Why are dreams so fucking scary?
And so she stands there for like what felt like 10 seconds, just smiling at me. She didn't make any noise. She just stared at me and smiled. And I had realized what she already had done, which was that she probably had harmed my brother.
Yeah.
And then she proceeds to walk down the stairs, and the stairs overlooking the living room has like a rail, but you can see the person walking down the stairs. You can see their full body. So she's holding the railing, still staring at me, walking down the stairs to come towards me. And so I knew she was going to hurt me and my brother. And I remember I closed my eyes and I said, "You're going to wake up now." And I woke up.
That's terrifying, Sarah. Yeah. I actually do remember you telling me that story at one point in your life. Like, that is a true dream that you have had. Because I do remember you like telling me that story.
It only ever happened once. And like I said, I had it when I was like 14 years old. And that dream has always been the most vivid, vibrant dream. And I had a feeling that if I wouldn't have woken up, she would have done me harm, real harm.
What is the psychology of dreams? Like, what are dreams? Where do they come from? Is it just like our deep thoughts? Is it more? Do they mean something? Is it stupid? Like, is it our brain?
I think everyone has their own kind of theory of it. Like, there's obviously people who say that dreams are sometimes messages from people like that have passed on, telling us to like, you know, like prophecies and stuff. Other people are like, it's just your brain sloughing off subconscious, which I would agree with to like a pretty big degree. Is I think our brain is just trying to sort out our subconscious within our dreams. A lot of people think that like, you know, lucid dreaming is a big thing. Like there's a lot of theories behind dreams. Certain things in your dreams can mean certain things. Like there's, you know, if you lose your teeth in your dream, it might mean that you're feeling insecure. Like there's a lot of stuff like that I know, like there is like people who interpret your dreams. But I think, you know, I think if you're also having reoccurring fears in your dreams, then those are the real fears that you're trying to process. I always have dreams where I'm inside my house and somebody's trying to get in and I'm trying to lock the door and the door won't lock or will unlock, and I'm trying to barricade my doors. Like that's a huge fear of mine, right? So apparently in my dreams, like, you know, like one of the horror movies that really like left a mark on me was The Strangers because of that, right?
Yeah.
So like things like that, I'm sure you're trying to like process. But I have dreams like you have where I'm being chased. I had a dream once where I was being chased by, I never saw the thing, but I always heard it. And it was huge.
I never know who's chasing me. I just know that I'm being chased.
Yeah. I want to say it was like a wild animal, but like not a wild animal. Like think like Wendigo or some shit like that.
Like a monster of some sort.
Monster of some sort, but like a wild animal. Like it will maul you if it finds you, kind of thing.
That's terrifying.
And I'm constantly running from door to door, and each room is a different room from my memory, and I'm trying to get through the room. Like one of them was my parents' old bedroom. Another one was like a classroom, like the ones that like when you're watching scary movies and that stuff happens like that, but like in my dream.
Is there like trauma like chasing you through life? Like
when I was when I was a little girl, like I still don't love them. I can like function okay around them, but I don't love people with masks or like mascots. And when I was a little girl, my dad used to work like evenings, and my dad was like a single father. So it was just me and my dad. So my dad would take me to a babysitter, and the babysitter that took care of me, she had a son who was like 1 or 2 years older than me. And I already was a scared cat. Like I didn't like scary movies. I didn't like, which is so funny because I recently had a conversation with a coworker of mine who loves scary movies, and him and I have a lot to talk about because of that, because I watch a lot of scary movies.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Did you always love scary movies?" And I'm like, "Fuck no." I just had a friend who tortured me for a whole summer and forced me to watch every scary movie that fucking existed, from black and white movies onward. Like you didn't start me in the deep end. You integrated me in very slowly. And then you awoke this love of the unnatural, and
scary movies are so good. They're so very cool. Underrated.
Yeah, they are very underrated. Which I'll finish my thought and then I'm gonna ask you a question. Okay. So fuck, what was I saying? Fuck.
Something about something. I don't know. I
something about something. I think, yeah, maybe my ADHD brain got in the way.
Something about scary movies. You and your coworker were talking about.
Okay. So I was a scary cat when I was a child, and so this boy showed me Scooby-Doo, and we were in their basement. And in the basement, I had my bed in the basement, and they put me on like a race car bed, which like that shit was not fucking comfortable. I just have to fucking say it. I was like Harry Potter. They put me in like a closet, in
Oh my
on a raised
God.
car bed. Like it was, yeah.
In a
And-
closet?
well, the door wouldn't close. Like the door was off the hinges, but it was like a closet that
That's
the bed was in.
terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Ew.
Yeah. Anyways, so we were in this space where like my bed would be, because if my dad dropped me off early in the morning, then they would just let me go back to bed.
Yeah.
So we're in the basement. We're watching Scooby Doo. The lights are off, and I don't know. It was like a particular scary episode, I guess. And I got scared, and he was like, "Just wait here." And he turned off the TV. The lights were still off, and I couldn't find the switch. And he locked me in this room.
Rude.
So I'm in pitch black room trying to get out. And he finally opens the door, and he's wearing a wolf mask, like one of those like werewolf masks.
Yeah.
And he chases me around the house with this mask on. It scared the shit out of me. And so for years, I was terrified of masks. Like Halloween was a horrible, horrible time for me. People who would wear the ghost face mask scared the shit out of me. The suit, like Shoppers Drug Mart, when there was that aisle with all the masks, I hated that shit. I was so afraid of masks that we used to do, when I was in elementary, we would do a Halloween parade where you and your class would go to each other classrooms to show them your costume. But it was like, you know, the lights were off and they made it kind of spooky, and like Thriller would play on the speaker, like on the intercom while you were walking through, and I'd have to hold my teacher's hand because I was so terrified of these kids who would wear these masks because they intentionally wanted to scare you.
For sure.
And I'm this little girl holding my teacher's hand, and I'm in a fucking princess costume, like a little
bitch,
like Cinderella like dress and a tiara. Like I was like as soft as they fucking come. Like I did not like that scary shit. So often
I'm so glad I ruined you from that.
Well, the masks I still don't love, and I think it's because I can't tell a person's intention.
Fair.
Who's under a mask, or mascots. Like I can't tell the person who's underneath. And so it makes me uncomfortable because I can't tell what your next move's going to be. Like if you're going to hurt me. Same reason why clowns kind of get me. Like I don't love clowns. Pennywise always kind of freaked me out. The guy from that fucking clown series that everyone, it's like the most uncut you've watched them.
Oh, Terror.
I couldn't watch those because they made me so uncomfortable.
Those ones are wild.
And the actor who plays that clown, he's very good at like emoting and like looking goofy and then looking really fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
So I never watched those movies because they scared me. But all that to say, Leo and I recently went to go see a new movie that's out called Longlegs. Have you heard of it?
I haven't seen it yet, but I really want to. Is it good?
Yeah, anyone who doesn't want, and I'm not going to spoil it, don't worry, but anyone who doesn't want to know anything about this movie, maybe pause for a minute. I'll do a very, very quick minute explanation. Well, sorry, not pause, mute or skip a minute. Okay, I'm going to say it now. It was good. There was too much hype.
Oh, shit.
And it ruined the movie.
No way.
Yeah. So go in not knowing any of it and just go in wanting to watch a movie, and you'll have an interesting experience.
Was it scary?
Yeah.
Okay. Because like,
but for very interesting reasons. When you watch it, we'll talk about it on the podcast, and that will be an episode where maybe we don't, like, it will be a spoiler alert kind of thing. But
right.
I'd be curious to know your thoughts on the movie because it was very interesting.
Okay, I went to go see Maxine, which is part of a horror movie trilogy. There's Pearl, X, and then Maxine was the last of the trilogy. I think you'd really like it. It's like slasher, but it has a lot of like
I've heard of it. I watched Pearl.
Oh, you did?
I watched Pearl.
X is better, and it's on Netflix.
And X is on Netflix, and I've heard that it's the spinoff of Pearl.
Yeah.
Maxine I've never watched.
Well, Maxine's in theaters right now. It's just like, it's the last of it. It was actually really good.
Okay.
Mia Goth is my new obsession. I love her. She's
an amazing actress.
She's amazing.
Do you know she was with Shia LaBeouf for a very long time?
Really?
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
I think they were
dating
engaged.
Anybody. I don't know why.
I know.
But I don't like. Good for him. Good for him.
I think they broke up. I don't know the context around the relationship. I really don't. But I do know that when he was going through like rehab and his whole process, that she was like she was there, like she was a huge support for him and helped him heal. Like she seems to be like a really good person.
I think she is.
But she's super like eclectic,
Yeah.
kind of like Cillian Murphy. Like she has a certain look to her
Yes.
that is like uncanny and like a little alien like that
Yeah.
makes you feel so. Like in horror movies, she's fantastic. She was in this movie. I don't think it was a horror movie. I think it would be considered more like a sci-fi movie, but it was about this guy who goes to like a rehabilitation center and he finds her as like one of the characters and he starts opening up, you know, secrets and realizing like what happens at the rehabilitation center, and it's actually kind of like crazy. It's her and then the guy from the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies. He played Spider-Man's friend.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
What's his name? Not James Franco, but he was.
but James Franco's character,
Yeah.
but in the Andrew Garfield movies.
Yeah, I don't know who that was.
Oh.
Somebody. Dude.
Forgettable.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in other stuff as of recent, but he's a pretty good actor too. There's there's a movie that's coming out that's a scary movie that I do really want to see.
There's a lot. Going to the movie theaters for a scary movie, all the previews were scary movies. There was one called
There's this
Locked Up, I think.
Oh, I haven't.
That one's like a maze. Like these girls have to like go through a maze to survive.
Oh, interesting.
That one's cool. I guess I dream about that a lot, so I'm really interested.
I'm terrified
It's
of
just
mazes.
like me.
Yeah. There was a few that I saw that look really interesting. I know the new Strangers movie just came out. That's like obviously a spinoff from the other ones.
Right.
I feel like I saw a few that looked really interesting, but
Did
I
you
can't
see
remember them.
Sydney Sweeney's scary movie?
I didn't like it.
No, I didn't see it.
I didn't like it.
Sometimes I don't know. I miss a lot of them.
It felt a lot like Rosemary's Baby, but with nuns.
I think that's why I kind of missed it. I was like, I've seen this before.
I genuinely went to go see that, or I watched that movie not because of Sydney Sweeney, but because one of the actors in the movie is a guy who's from Money Heist, which is a Netflix show, but it's a Latino show. It's like Spain, like a Spanish show.
I think I watched
it's
the
an
first season.
amazing show, and
It's a good
he's the doctor, or he's the main guy. He's like the one who planned everything. He's not inside the bank. He's on the outside running the system. He's in that movie.
That's late for him.
Yeah, and he plays the villain, and so I was really interested in it. But it was just okay. It wasn't horrible, but I mean, like, meh.
Maybe we should make a horror movie. I think we'd be really good at it.
I don't even know where I would start. Like, I don't even know what avenue I would take. I feel like if I was to make a movie, though, I would want it to be really offbeat. This is one of the things about Longlegs that you'll discover when you watch it is I love the concept of watching a scary movie and not just your fear alone generates a discomfort.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Rather than you experiencing anything. But like Smile was really like
Smile was probably one of the best scary movies I'd seen in a long time.
See, and some people debate that. Some people say that was not a good movie.
It was good.
But I would agree with you. I would say Smile was one of those movies that completely was unexpected.
Dude, the phone call, spoiler alert, the phone call, that a lot of people didn't freak them out, but it freaked me out.
Oh, see,
she was
the
like,
one that freaked me out the most was when her mom's standing in the bathroom.
Yeah, that one was also really creepy.
The people standing in darkness and you can just see
like
the
almost
shape of
barely,
them.
Yeah,
freaks me the fuck out. And people who like stand in darkness and smile. The smiling really got me. Like just this completely offbeat. Again, it's like a mask. You don't know a person's intention when they're smiling like that.
Well, it's a smile. Like you think, like you associate naturally, like smiles are good things.
Yeah.
But in this movie, it's very much not.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I
So
love.
I feel like if I was to make a movie, it would have to be something that, like all good movies that have left a mark on me, have made me think after and not be able to forget about something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to walk away from a movie and be like, oh yeah, it was just a movie. I want to walk away and be like, I still feel very uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I think that's the success of a scary movie.
I think the scariest
Not
movie,
shock value.
I agree. The scariest movie for me, and again, this might be controversial, was Paranormal Activity, the first one, when it first came out. Because I was too young for the Blair Witch Project, which I know got a lot of people. But by the time I'd watched it, like the hype had already come and go.
That one never scared me.
I don't think that one was, I think, a little too subtle with Paranormal Activity. Whether it's real, I don't think it's real. It's obviously fake. But like the idea that it's like it's there in the background, and if you're listening or if you just catch it, like it's like you can't see it.
Yeah.
You know, there is no like, even the ending where like she gets like thrown against, or he gets like thrown against the camera, like that's where it loses me.
Yeah.
I like the subtlety of it, of just like immediate not loud noises in the darkness, and you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Have you ever seen Host?
I don't think so.
You should watch it. If Paranormal Activity left you with marks, Host Host takes it to another level. It was a movie that was made. It's a really good movie. I would say that was the movie before Smile that left me really impressed.
Really?
Because it takes a lot for me to watch a movie now and go, that was pretty good. Like, most of them are subpar and a lot of them are just garbage.
So much garbage.
But Host was a movie that people made during COVID. So it matches what was happening during COVID. And they do a seance over the internet with each other.
Wait, oh, no, I don't.
You should watch it.
Is this the one where they do like it's like they do seances for fun? Like they'll like tap into dead people and then like become possessed for like a small amount of time, and people would do it for fun. Like
no,
they get
that's
high.
Talk to Me.
Oh, okay.
Talk to Me is good.
I think
but-
did we watch that together? Maybe not.
No, I watched it with Leo, but Talk to Me is good.
Talk to Me is kind of fun.
But Host is different, but it pulls in the same concepts as Paranormal Activity of it being very real.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's based in COVID?
Yeah, it's these friends who do a seance, but they're doing it over Zoom.
Oh, okay. That's fun.
Yeah, you should watch it. It's like an hour long. It's very short, but it is very, very good. They did a great job at it.
See, I think that's like, we could do just like a short, scary film.
Most scary films are often the best, right? Like Lights Out was inspired by a short film.
Well, yeah. There's a, I don't know, like Cryptic TV, I think.
Cryptic TV.
On YouTube?
For a very long time, I will watch those, but I feel like they kind of lost
a bit of the charm.
the magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. They kind of started doing like extended series and stuff like that really kind of didn't give me what I wanted. But some of the scariest stuff that I've seen in terms of like, you know, but you don't need to develop a plot when you're doing a short film.
Yeah.
Right? Lights Out, there was no explanation as to why that thing was there, but it's the fear of the unknown, I think, that makes it more scary. Yeah. Well, that's this episode.
I love when we're just like quiet.
It's crazy. I feel like I always have a plan for these episodes, or you do, and they always go off rails.
We do. It's
like
impossible.
our side tangents become the full topic.
Dreams to marriage to horror stories.
Wow. We really went through it.
And then we had dreams a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like it. I like I don't know. That's me personally.
Yeah.
I like the chaoticness of it.
I agree. I hope everybody else does too. So that's today's episode. It's been a while since I've done this.
Did you have a question for me? You said you had a question for me. I can't remember if you asked it or not. I don't remember. No.
Oh, it was if you've seen Long Legs.
Oh, no. But I plan to see it.
You should see it.
When
and
it
then
comes out,
and then
though.
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it on an episode because I think there's a lot to unpack.
We should do an episode where we pick like our top 5 like scariest scary movies.
Maybe that's okay. This is how I'm going to finish this episode. We cannot talk about stuff after this because we're going to talk forever. But I am entering into my fucking, you too, are entering into our fucking phase. And that is summer's on her way out. Get the fuck out of here with your hot summer ass and your mosquito driven self. And pumpkin spice, Halloween, crisp fall is entering into the season, baby. And this is where it's so funny. I had a conversation with a coworker recently and I was like, I think I hate summer. I don't want to sound like a party pooper because everybody loves summer. I don't.
People that are like, oh, but it's hot weather. Shut the fuck up. It's too hot. It's smoky because BC's always on fucking fire.
Yeah.
It's too much.
The bugs have
The
become
bugs-
nuclear.
Dude, they're as big as they were in like the Jurassic period. Like, why the fuck are mosquitoes the size of my head?
Not Jurassic, way back. Way back. You're thinking before dinosaurs existed, the bugs were big.
I don't know. I wasn't there. But they're fucking
They're
huge.
big and they're nuclear, and the mosquitoes this season have a bite to them that like you get marks and they last for weeks, dude.
And they're welts.
And welts, yeah.
Like,
so like
huge.
I don't want that. It's too hot to sit in the sun. So I understand that it's hot, but then I'm sitting in the shade next to a tree where there's ant fucking hills
Yeah.
and the ants crawl on me. I, go into the water, and in Canada the water's still too goddamn cold.
Yes.
It's smoky. It's just so uncomfortable. It's just so uncomfortable. There's no wind. I love wind. I've discovered that my element probably is wind because I just adore a good breeze. And in the fall, she is just out to play, blowing those leaves around. I think I prefer spring over summer.
We had a good spring because we had lots of rain, and I love rain
I do too.
personally.
I think I just love a good gloom.
Sarah and I we're autumn people. Spring sometimes, yes, but we're autumn people.
But spring gives you the gloom.
care
It
for
gives you the
summer.
little, you know what I mean?
right?
Just the thing you can't fucking describe. But autumn is just, I
Cozy.
went to Winners yesterday, which would be the Americans version of TJ Maxx.
Yes.
And I was living my life, and then I walked around the corner and I was hit with the smell of spice, and pumpkins galore was set up. And I just stood there for a second. And I was like, I'm so happy. This is the endorphins that I needed. I needed this boost of serotonin. I just want to stand in Michael's and be happy. Why can't I have that? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then after, it's Christmas, and I'm vibing with Christmas too. I'm down for Christmas. But just, we're so fucking close. It's August. We're almost there. The end of August, everything's going to change, and all of a sudden you're just going to hear the noise of leaves falling up against the
colors
concrete
change.
and
the crunch.
the
the smells.
And I just
the
recently
aura.
discovered that, based on my own analysis, not a professional analysis, that I might be a deep autumn, which is like my colors.
I'm a light winter, apparently.
Who told you that?
I don't know, the voices in my head.
Pop off.
I have no idea because I have brown hair, light skin, and hazel eyes.
Yeah, I'm genuinely just asking because I'm like, do you know somebody that I don't who knows better than me?
I get the most compliments when I wear light pinks and light blues.
Yeah.
So I looked it
you
up.
could be
and
a
it's like-
spring.
no, I think it's a soft. I think.
Okay, well,
those
let me
colors
show
are
you
soft
my.
winters.
See, I said we weren't going to fucking talk about more. And
You know when your mothers will like talk to each other and it's like, okay, bye, and then they'll talk for another 6 hours.
you're like, I want to go home.
You're like, let me leave.
These are
bitch."
my colors.
Yeah, see, I agree with that because you have olive skin, you have darker hair, you have
Lighter eyes,
lighter eyes,
but green.
I don't know if it's like the bone structure because you do also have like a very like you have their faces, like you have like strong jaw, pretty
Oh my God,
eyes,
say less. It's
strong
amazing.
eyebrows.
I look really good in like I look better in navy blue than I do in black. But let's be for real, I'm never gonna get rid of black.
Nobody will.
Like deeper reds, deeper purples, dark greens. Like I look really good in kind of earth tone, but not like gemmy earth tones like winters do. I
Mhm.
need a little. I look better in warm colors. So like gold is better for me in terms of jewelry than silver. But I have been told that I can do both.
You give me like mixed metals. Like you could wear like a gold and silver bracelet
Yeah.
and it would work for you.
But I have been told that gold brings out my eyes a little bit more. My hair is like a warm, like golden brown,
Mhm.
but it is darker. But in the sun, I do really have this kind of like gold color. And so gold works really well with my skin tone and my colors. So that just validated the fucking fact more that autumn is the season because those are my fucking colors. And I can live in all these beautiful, I can't pull off these colors in the summer because people think that I'm dark and twisted and gloom doom. And I'm like, it's fine. It's autumn. Autumn is where I thrive.
Well, your birthday's in autumn too.
My birthday's in autumn, Halloween,
Halloween's
Avi,
in autumn.
which this year, now that I have my movie theater, you're coming over and we're going to watch Halloween movies.
the
We're
way
going to
that I
fucking
have
pop off.
I will have like movies lined up for us
I'm
to
so
watch.
stoked. So like all these things that we're so close. It's just a few fucking weeks away, and I'm so excited. I keep sending Spencer memes. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm so sad summer's over, and it's like me, and it's like Leonardo DiCaprio laughing in fucking Django, and he's like got like an autumn like headband, and he's holding a pumpkin spice, and I'm like, this is fucking me.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's like the witchy bitches like getting ready for summer to be over and for autumn to begin. That's
I'm so
literally us.
excited.
We're
I'm
not
so
summer people.
excited.
I don't mind winter until it's
here's the thing too.
January.
I don't mind summer. I will live in summer, and if you tell me you got to enjoy summer, I'll enjoy summer. But if you ask me which one brings me more happiness, fucking autumn, man.
Yeah. Always and
everything just
forever.
lines up in autumn. Things work out for me in autumn. I'm
Same.
happier. I can be outside. Like I really want to run out. I know I'm that
Gross.
fucking person now.
Hate
What the
it.
hell happened to me?
Horrible.
But I want to run outside and I can't because it's too goddamn hot. But in the fall, oh my God. You're going to catch me running outside every single day, baby. Like I'm going to be hanging out with the leaves and just living my fucking life.
I love going out. I love walking in the fall.
The smell, opening the windows and just and I don't know, there's something about it that's nostalgic too. Because when you were a kid, you were in school. So you would get out at, a long day of school and it's kind of cool outside. It's not too hot. You're taking your jacket off. You're hanging out with your friends. The leaves are falling. You're meeting new people. It's still exciting. School's still really exciting. Whereas summer school sucks and you just want to, not be at school. There's still some excitement in September and you're leading up to Halloween and you're preparing to like spend time with your friends. And like, there's just something really nostalgic about autumn for me. First day school outfits, that's autumn, baby. Like, it's all that. So
autumn, like, although it's like the season of death or the beginning of death, it really is like sort of the beginning to me of like a new year almost. Like summer feels more like an end.
What does that say about us that we just love?
I think that's just school. I think just the way school is set up for children and for years, even in university, that it just, we get used to that schedule.
Maybe.
But I also just like me and you, just we love autumn.
I don't know. I fucking live for it. So I'm so excited. And maybe we'll do a scary movie. There's a few episodes that will come your way. We're going to do like a month long, maybe more, of Halloween because that's just like what we lean into seasonally. And so we're coming to play. And so maybe we do that during this kind of countdown to Halloween.
Oh.
Anyways, so I haven't done this in a long time, but our lovely editor will put up our socials here. If you want to look for us, you can find us at dysfunctional-duo or underscore the, is it underscore? I think it is. Underscore the underscore dash, no. Underscore the underscore dysfunctional underscore duo underscore. Don't ask me why there's so many underscores. Apparently a lot of people have this fucking username and it's really hard to just like want to be goddamn original. So you can find us there. Honestly, I'd be curious to know if you just look up Dysfunctional Duo if we come up, especially for our socials like TikTok and Instagram. But you can find us here. Here's our lovely socials. We do link our information out on our YouTube. You can also find us on Spotify at Dysfunctional Duo. So yeah, have a wonderful week. Enjoy yourself.
Stay slay. Have good dreams.
Stay slay. Have wonderful dreams.
Have amazing dreams.
And if you can't have wonderful dreams, just cry out like my husband does. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.